Hey guys, Kingsway here with another story for you. This one's about gatekeeping, or I feel as though it's about gatekeeping. It's getting hate from other players because I'm not a nerd by Danae Cow. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but here we go with the story. This just happened to me last month, and it was an experience for sure. First of all, some background info. I'm a 19-year-old college student, and I am definitely a nerd. I'm super into manga and anime, mostly manga, comic books, video games, and movies. But I also have other interests such as fashion and combat sports, which translate into my appearance more than my nerdy interests. I admit I am an extremely vain person. I like to look good and dress with the trends. I do Muay Thai not because I have a warrior spirit or to learn to protect myself or anything like that. I learned it to stay in shape. I don't do other sports because I'm just ass at sports. The reason I'm telling you this is because all this will become important to the story later. While I'm at it, let me explain. The title says, I'm not a nerd because the group judges me of not being nerd worthy. And yes, you heard that right. I'll start with the group. Met with them a month ago from my best friend Faye, not his real name. Faye is a super nerd, super into anime, manga like me, video games, and such. We've been friends since like 8 years old, so he knows tons of crap about me and my interests. He knew that I'm super into D&D, but never got the chance to play it for real. Being a good friend that he is, during the lockdown, he had contacted me with some friends of his that played Magic the Gathering, and they were setting up a session, and he invited me to play with them. I was super excited. This is like a dream come true for me, where I can be super nerdy and be super nerdy with other people, and I cannot be judged. I want to RP. I want to fantasize about being badass and have my cool moments. I wanted to build friendships with fellow adventurers and such. Little did I know that fantasy was just going to stay a fantasy. We had planned to play and meet at one of Faye's friends' houses. He's the DM. Let's call him Gabe. Gabe was super friendly towards Faye, but not so much towards me. I thought maybe he's just not comfortable with me yet, which I completely understand. Then two other players show up. Let's call them Ivan and Murray. When we first met, Ivan and Murray straight up just acted like I wasn't there and just kept ignoring me. I was super upset because I thought we would be running a fun time D&D game. Like, seriously dudes, what's going on? But I still kept my thoughts on this to myself. Maybe they were just uncomfortable with me. Them being uncomfortable might have been the problem at first, but as time goes on, I'm more than sure they're actually just starting to hate on me. After everybody arrived, we started to sit down in Gabe's living room, except for Gabe himself. Faye is making small conversation with Ivan and Murray. I tried to be friendly and converse with them, but they just end the conversation or straight out ignore me. I was getting kind of temperamental with this dickish treatment, so I called them out on it. I said something along the lines of, "Why are you guys treating me like I'm Hitler?" in my language. They started to look super uncomfortable after that and just stayed silent for the entire time. I felt super guilty and just, I stayed quiet after that. And Faye is understandably super awkward after that as well. I thought that maybe they were just shy and it was intimidating with socializing with new people. I know most nerdy people are socially awkward altogether, but I never thought this would be that awkward. The game started to set the table and he sensed from the group how super awkward everything was, and he asked what was up. Ivan then replied with, "Why did you invite him over?" pointing to me. I said, "I came with Faye. I wanted to play D&D and he said I could join." He also said Gabe was fine with it. I was really defensive because it made it seem like everything was my fault for all this tension. Then Murray said, "Why do you want to play D&D? You don't even look like someone who plays this sort of stuff." And now I realize why they were acting like this. They don't think I look like a nerd, which is stupid. I really thought this kind of mentality didn't exist anywhere, but reality proves me wrong. "How does my looks have anything to do with me wanting to play D&D?" I asked them. Faye backed me up with, "You guys sound super dumb right now, judging people based upon their appearances is some like 5th grader stuff, or something like that. Gabe looks super uncomfortable right now." Ivan then said, "We should not play this kind of games. We don't like the people like you here." That was hard to read. I'm saying like, we don't like people like you here? Okay. I was like, fine, whatever. I can play with someone else, and I just left with Faye. Before I left though, even Gabe the DM said that Faye maybe should not invite people like me because it makes everybody else uncomfortable. I was really super disappointed at that experience. I never thought I would be judged based upon my appearance and be outcast because I didn't look like a nerd. It was a super disappointing experience, but I'm trying to look for a nice group to pop up and play D&D with. Sorry for my horrible grammar. English is not my first language. Just trying to share my experience. TLDR, other players dislike me wanting to play D&D because I don't look like a nerd. Alright, first thing I want to say is, wow, the gatekeeping on this one. Like, you can enjoy our hobby. You don't look like you might be one of us. What the freaking heck? Dude. The second thing is, like, again, I'm going with his appearance. Like, they didn't even give him a chance to try to enjoy the game. It's like, oh, you don't even look like you play games like this. That hit home for me because I am just like OP. Like, I competitively fight. So I do Muay Thai, I do Jiu-Jitsu and things like that. You know, I've actually had this happen to me trying to get back into the game and finding groups to play with. And it's harder to do than on live face-to-face stuff than people think. But comment down below if anything like this ever happened to you guys. Hopefully it didn't, but you never know. I'm King Sway, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.